Hi again everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. So yesterday was the day of the Vinco Ventures shareholder proxy meeting that was held to vote on the 5 proposals that were announced for voting, with the most important perhaps being proposal 4, which was to solidify the warrant executions to finalise the funding for the lomotif deal. The other sideshow of this meeting was the anticipated but very much veiled Cryptyde stock dividend spin-off, which has sneakily been delayed by a week and is likely going to be watered down in value from what was expected by investors back in September when it was announced. When you throw into the mix the major rally the stock has experienced in the last few days, gaining 22%, all largely in the closing hours of Thursday's trade alone, you have yet another prime demonstration of the complex moving parts that go into trying to follow this company. So in this video, I want to have a look at all of this as well as comment on the short squeeze efforts, which suddenly seem to have come back to life. So there's a bit to look at, let's get into it. While we've not heard much out of the company in terms of what happened at the shareholder meeting, I think it's safe to assume that all proxy motions passed. They usually do. However, one thing that we do know has changed is the Cryptyde stock dividend has been delayed for at least a week. On the bottom half of the screen, we have the Cryptyde spin-off slide that came out with the proxy voting information in September, and above it we have the final slide that was used during yesterday's presentation. In the final version, the key dates for the dividend have been put back by a week, so instead of today, Friday the 15th, being the day of record to receive the dividend, it is now next week on Friday the 22nd. This means that shareholders of Vinco Ventures need to be in the stock for a further week to receive the stock dividend, or at least still be owning it next Friday. And these developments were confirmed in the new key dates on the final information slide for yesterday's presentation. Aside from this minor tweak to the dividend dates, Vinco Ventures has remained very tight-lipped about what assets will make up Cryptyde as a business. They also have not released details about what the payout ratio will be for the stock dividend, whether it is 1-for-1, 2-for-1 or whatever. It has really been difficult to get information about this from the company, unfortunately. If you are an existing shareholder of Vinco Ventures, on paper the assets you own should not change if you are holding out for the stock dividend. However, the assets going into Cryptyde and onto these shareholders look to have been diluted by the large equity raise last week. I speculated around this idea last week that the large equity raising may dilute the assets being spun off to shareholders in the Cryptyde dividend, so I spent some time really getting into the details inside the S1 form that was filed with the SEC last week. It seems that the warrants executed are already officially stocks and can be traded, and while they are not appearing in the counts of shares outstanding yet, or in the calculations of the company's market capitalization, it seems this won't actually occur until the next release of financial results from the company, being November 22. So this actually casts even more shade over what is going on with the stock and the company in general at the moment. Such is the style of BBIG management. Regarding the performance of the stock, in the last 3 days since I did my last update, we have seen a particularly strong performance from Vinco Ventures. The stock has recovered a whopping 63% this week. We speculated that once the stock breached the blue line of resistance around the $5.50 mark, we could see a breakout up towards the $9.50 mark. And so far this seems to be on track. I think we really are seeing the realization by investors of the increased underlying net asset value for Vinco Ventures stock. I wouldn't be surprised if this rally cools a little on Friday, as it is running quite hot at the moment, having put on 20% just in the final 2 hours of Thursday's trade alone. In fact, we did see some ground ceded in the aftermarket where the stock surrendered 45 cents to finish the low volume session at $7.91 per share. I wonder if this was buyers trying to get out of the stock at what I think is a high, hoping they had qualified for the Cryptyde dividend, or if it's people jumping out from making a good money in the day trade. If you were playing for the dividend and jumped out, you may be in for a bit of a rude shock because you haven't yet qualified for it. In terms of whether the selling will continue on Friday, I think there is a possibility for some further revision to the stock price from the aftermarket session. The big rally experienced late on Thursday never got to establish any real points of support, and we have seen through past trade that as fast as Vinco Ventures goes up, it can come back down. So there might be some reasonable support found for the stock around the $6.65 mark, a central trading point prior to the big rally. However, there is potentially also some historical support for the stock around the $7.25 mark, which would be a more agreeable landing point if we do indeed see a continuation of the aftermarket selling on Friday. I think there is still a possibility of a continued run for the stock because of the delayed Cryptyde dividend. However, if what we experienced was some sort of temporary short squeeze rally, then we could indeed see some settling down for the stock. Really, at this stage, it's anyone's guess. In terms of the shorts data underpinning a possible short squeeze action, all major metrics for the stock have clearly improved since I did my update pre-market on Tuesday. And given the stock performance, it is not surprising to see this improvement. While there has been an increase to the percentage of the float being shorted and the overall market cap, we have to keep in mind that these figures are not properly measured due to them not registering the new stocks which were released last week and the new stocks that are going to be coming onto the market as of yesterday, due to proposal 4 being voted on. I suspect we have seen a creep up in the float currently shorted due to short sellers looking to take advantage of Thursday's big rally. So this could also be distorting our figures a little bit. So just to conclude, now that the shareholder meeting is over, there is good news if you are holding the BBIG shares. Factoring in debt associated with the deals being done and future transaction value of the Adrizer acquisition, which is set to help monetize lomotif, the underlying net asset value of the shares you own is actually $3.40 per share, up from negative 80 cents back in September. If you want to see how I got these figures, look at the video I did on Tuesday. From that $3.40 asset value will come the assets that will be tied in with the Cryptyde stock dividend. If you wish to receive this dividend, you need to be holding the stock until next Friday, the 22nd, not today, Friday the 15th, as it was originally stated. It is hard to predict how the stock is going to behave between now and next Friday, especially now that we know the assets of Cryptyde are yet to be spun off, but I am optimistic about this stock still. I downloaded and had a play around with lomotif the other day, just to see what it was all about. It is almost identical to TikTok. However, it does have more features when it comes to editing videos in the app. It has a strength over TikTok in the sense that you can use the app purely as a video editor for other applications, or you can use it to participate in the social networking of the platform. The platform has over 30 million users currently, so it's a lot smaller than TikTok. However, it won't face the same government pressures that TikTok has faced, being a Singaporean company. Well, at least appears to be a Singaporean-based business anyway. If you know otherwise, please let me know in the comments. The company is now expanding into the Indian market, which has proved to be an important one for similar apps such as YouTube Shorts. So I think with Vinco Ventures now being able to monetize lomotif through the acquisition of Adrizer shows real promise and growth potential for the company at large, which I suppose is what we are waiting to see. Even if they only grab a small percentage of this marketplace and can monetize it, the returns here could be very promising. Anyway, I'm still bullish, and I think even if it's not tomorrow, Vinco Ventures has its best days still ahead of it. I just wish they could be a little more direct about what they are doing. Anyway, until next time everyone, may the markets trade in your favor. Cheers.